Google and you press a body count, it is surprising how many responses will come back. And basically what this is about is how many people somebody has slept with, whether that be male to female, female to male, female to female, male to male, or whatever. And basically it's a list of questions. It's normally done on websites or podcasts which involve a large amount of people or a few people in a group having a conversation about their body count. Sometimes it involves women who have worked on OnlyFans, have made a living, or young female students in college, young male students in college, and discussing a body count. And there are some questions that are asked, like what is your body count? It's almost as if sleeping with a person is somewhat devalued because you grade it as a body count. So even if you've had a meaningful relationship, it is still in some ways demeaned as a body count. And it's kind of weird how in those situations women will play down the amount of men they slept with, and men may on some occasions play up. And in both situations, it's kind of strange because you don't know where the twain shall meet. However, when you get on to growing up a little bit in your 20s or 30s and you want to settle down and you've had quite a hedonistic life, getting used to growing up, having sexual partners, sleeping around or whatever. I'm not judging anybody by what a person wants to do. I'm just saying this is what happens. And then eventually a person wants to settle down. Now, here's the situation. Would you like your spouse or the person that you're in a relationship with to ask you the question, how many people have you slept with? For me, that would be rather a scary question. In my humble view, I'd be quite scared by that. Like, who have you slept with? I mean, to be honest, what sort of question is that? How many people have you slept with? It kind of puts you in a position where you are almost less than something because of the numbers you have slept with, numbers of people you've slept with. And what's interesting as well is this all goes into or flows into a conversation again about what is a high value woman. There's a very interesting point that raises a question. I've watched some websites who will say that a high value woman is a younger, more attractive woman of about 23 who is in the fertile stages, so able to produce children, and is considered high value. The older you get, your value towards a man becomes less attractive. And there's loads of websites which discuss how to attract a high value man or what a high value man is looking for. So herein lies the quandary then, because if you're an attractive woman who's young, you're going to be sought out by men. If you sleep with aforementioned men, and this could go the other way as well, if you sleep with aforementioned men, you then have a body count and that devalues you as well. So in some ways, as a high value woman, every year that passes, in relation to what these websites are saying, is that no matter where you are, every subsequent year after a certain age, your value goes down. And it's almost as if body count is the same thing. Your value goes down. your value is lessened by your lifestyle. And then there's just so many questions to me about, again, how the society of looking good and having plastic surgery and defining beauty by image. And if you look at successful influencers celebrating beauty, celebrating wealth, and somehow what gets lost in the equation is love, patience, and kindness. You're judged not just on your looks, and I have no problem with very good looking people. You're not just judged by on your looks, you're judged by your deeds as well. And the strange thing is that there's this obsession with high value men and high value women. And it seems to me as if both sexes have somehow, within all of this, become possessions. Because women have become, in some ways, or some women have become, in some ways, obsessed with what their ideal man is. And their ideal man is based upon their monetary value and what they can bring to the table. And the expectations of men are set so high. If I meet a man, I want him to make X amount of money. I want him to be able to do this. I want him to be able to do that. The issue is that the 20 or 30% of women who seek these high value men are in a very competitive market, because only 1% of the population, or 2% of the male population, is in modern terms considered high value. Therefore, you have another 98% of the male population who are overlooked by females seeking high value males because they haven't considered the alternatives. And there are plenty of those out there. There are plenty of men who you would not consider high value men, who earn a good living and not in your expected field, earn a good living, are hardworking, loving, and will look after you. But because they don't conform to your expectation of what a high value man is, these men are overlooked. And that's sad. And even if we go beyond that and we look at males who earn a less salary but are equally as hardworking and equally as passionate about what they do, the quality of life is determined by what we require out of it. If we want to have a high value man, then we must go with the expectations that he has of you. And it's the same for any other relationship, whether that person be considered high value or not. I just want to present these perspectives to you. Well, let's move on to the other side now. Let's go on to high value women. So if you look at the spectrum of women, and again, this is not meant as a dig at anything, it's a glance at reality. If you look at women and you look at very beautiful women, models, you are going to find that only 2 or 3 or 4% of women are going to be model-like. There is only a certain percentage of women who are younger, and so you have 5 or 10% of the women who are model-like, and then you have another 90% of the population who are not model-like, and that ranges from good looking to not so good looking. I know it sounds a bit harsh, but I put myself in the not so good looking category. Does that mean that those women are any less valuable, any less going to be a good partner to you? Same with men. Are the less attractive men not going to be good partners? Are the women who are less attractive slightly older? And I know, of course, if you're a man, it's important if you want to have children that you meet a woman of childbearing age. So we have to consider those things. Men want children, they may not want children. Those things are important. You can't say, as a 43-year-old woman who meets a 25-year-old man or even a 40-year-old man who wants a child, that it's not going to be difficult to have a child. So you have to consider that you may not want a child. I think you've got to be open and honest about managing expectations and what you want. But again, a woman is more than her age. A woman is more than her looks. A woman is more than a token on your hand, on your arm. Much more than that. There's a much more powerful message than that. A woman can enter a room and be very attractive, but to make an entrance is a different thing. A woman of substance will slide into a room and her presence will be felt just by the way she walks, by the way she holds herself. It's an incredibly interesting conundrum, this. But yeah, go and have a look. Go and have a look now at the web pages and websites that define the saying, what is a body count, and what is the view of the audience in relation to the body count. These have been done all over the place. They've been done in colleges, they've been done in schools, they've been done on the street. And it is interesting to watch the dynamic unfold, to see people responding, answering questions and responding, and actually thinking about this notion of the body count. I feel it's kind of one of those things I wanted to touch upon during this sort of unprompted live stream that I'm doing this evening. Myself and Eagle VP on his channel, and I might stream it on mine as well in the next few weeks when we get them sorted, are going to be doing a series of themed live streams where we have a chat about different subjects and different issues that affect us in real life. And I thought that this was an interesting one that may have an implication for women and men in real life, and the choices we make, and the impact of social media on our choices, and on how we may get our confidence from likes and views on social media. And I think it's important to realize that our value cannot be based on our views, subscribers and clicks on social media. Our value is based upon our own outlook and value we place upon ourselves. I think that's the important thing. We place our value upon ourselves more. What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm trying out this new Streamlabs desktop, which is pretty fun. I haven't quite figured out how to work it yet. I will probably over the next few weeks have a go at seeing what happens here. I think there's a few things you can do. So if I put starting soon, I wonder if I can just can't move that over. Can I transition it? So transition in. Yes, you can. And then what you can do then is transition that out. I hope. Can you transition it out? No. Oops. And then go back to scene. Okay, cool. So what you can do is you can move hopefully you can move your scene back to your scene. So red glitch hopefully should be gone. This is an interesting, I've probably got starting soon on now. And now I can move over ending soon, hopefully. Ending soon. Nope, it's not working. I will figure this all out, or maybe it transitions into ending soon. Let's see, transition, ending soon. Okay, cool. And then let's transition into scene, transition into scene. Oh, that's all right. So that's sorted out. That's interesting. So on here, on your live stream, you can basically, you can bring up a start screen, transition the start screen. So if you want to have that starting screen up, you can then go onto your scene, transition your scene in, and then you can even have an intermission and screen in that intermission. I'm not quite sure what you can put on the intermission. So you can have some sort of thing in your intermission and then go back transition into your screen again. That's really clever. So I need to understand how this works. So I'm going to be probably doing a StreamYards editorial. They do have a Streamlabs editorial. They do have a subscription site, and it looks like this is about £12 a month, I think. £12 a month for the Pro, and you get several programs in it. In here, you've got, you can add, I think, extra cameras to it as well, which is really good. So you can have extra cameras. I think that you can, there's a mix in here. You can record your stream, which is really good. You can schedule a screen from here. It will have, let me see, it's got a subscriber check. So if there's people who have just subscribed, you can actually put that on. It's got a membership prompt, a donation prompt, a super chat prompt, which is very, very good, a merch prompt, whatever a cloud bot redeemed, which is quite funny, and a special gift. So all of these things are on here, which is really, really good. I think these subscriber buttons are pretty neat, aren't they? So those are all at the bottom. And then you've got a mini feed who subscribed over the last few months. So you've got a list of people who subscribed, which makes it interesting too. Let me go down here. Oops. So in here, it'll tell you in your feed who subscribed. And I think you can, oh yeah, you can roll it down. So it will tell you who your subscribers are as well in the channel, which I think is pretty good. And you've got editor, so you can put things in the editor, so you can edit screens. You can lay out and edit. So I don't know what these mean, but within the edit, you've got elements. So you've got a display, a mini feed, legacy events. I don't even know what they are. Editor display, an audio mixer, a scene selector source, stream preview, and a website. So I am going to go through these, and you can add tabs. So I think you can basically add tabs from various sources, which is useful. This might be really good, actually. This thing may be really good in my humble view. Probably with the Stream Deck would be the best way to capture this live stream. With this Streamlabs desktop interface. It's not as user-friendly as the iPad interface on Streamlabs, but hey-ho, we live and learn and we take what we want. So what other things are quite neat is if you've got a iPhone now, you can, or you've got, I think it's an iPhone or an iPad, you can now invite people into your live streams and have a chat, which has never happened before. So if you don't want to use the commercial option like I'm doing now with Streamlabs, you can now start a stream, and as you start a stream, it enables you to email a person and add them to your stream, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Lots of resources on the old interwebs nowadays. Anyway, I've spent, I don't know, about 20 minutes here yakking on. I do hope you enjoyed it. I'll be probably doing a stream on Eagle VP's channel over the weekend, and we're going to be discussing a really interesting subject and its impact on society as a whole. So I hope you tune in Sunday evening. Not quite sure when the time is at the moment, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. Thank you for the one person who came in. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I am going to probably, do another